Tower Health and Drexel University have formalized an agreement for a new medical school in Berks County. Officials signed a 20-year affiliation deal at Reading Hospital to establish a 4-year campus of Drexel's College of Medicine in Wyomissing.
Well, Drexel University today showed off a new facility with a focus on technology.
The university officially opened the new home for its College of Computing and Informatics.
1, 2, 3.
The ribbon cutting today at Drexel Square, a new privately owned green space at 30th and Market, open to the public. For years, this space was a concrete parking lot. Now it is the first element of an enormous effort by Drexel and developer Brandywine Realty Trust to reimagine 14 acres of University City in a project called Schuylkill Yards.
And call it a foot in the door to the world of fashion. A very unique program is being offered at Drexel University.
Sneakers are a major part of the hip-hop experience because the shoe represents anti-establishment. Sneakers were always that article of footwear that you couldn't get into places with. You couldn't go to church, you couldn't go to work, people didn't get married in them.
Sean Williams, Drexel Rankin Scholar and renowned sneaker expert, has seen the shift of sneaker culture firsthand, working with major brands like Adidas. That led to a program called Social Studies.
In a single day, 3 major brands announced that they are closing more than 300 stores combined.
This as Payless hangs up its shoes for good.
The mall is no longer the place to be. The millennials and Generation Z actually are customers who are totally used to shopping through social media.
Daniel Korschen is an associate professor of marketing at Drexel University. He's conducted research on employee and consumer reactions to companies that take controversial political stands. How can your research help business people make decisions?
Well, it starts with the realization that consumers and also employees, we shouldn't forget them because they're a major piece of this puzzle, that these different stakeholders, they have much different expectations than they used to.
Supporters of more restrictive laws appear increasingly emboldened 46 years after the landmark Roe v. Wade ruling protecting reproductive rights.
The anti-abortion movement is looking at this newly conservative Supreme Court and hoping that Trump's new justices, Kavanaugh and Gorsuch, will vote to overturn a precedent that's almost 50 years old.
Dr. Jennifer Taylor is from Drexel University. She researched how often emergency responders get attacked on the job.
When we talked to paramedics about their physical injury, they brushed it off. What they really wanted to talk about is the psychological impact of being assaulted by a person who has called you to their home.
If that collapses onto there, it's quite possible that the strength of this will hold it, in which case there's hope.
Dr. Scott Cooper is CEO of the Academy of Natural Sciences at Drexel University. He has a history of restoring historic buildings.
Much of its integrity will remain. Much of what's been lost, it's actually restoration. The spire that you could see collapse this afternoon, that dates back just 120 years.
That's a lot of money to pay a backup quarterback, especially when the team has so many other glaring needs at this point. I spoke with Dr. Joel Maxey, head of the sports management department at Drexel, and he said keeping both, while financially possible, isn't realistic.
He would be the top paid player on the team at $20 million by $4 or $5 million next year. The cap space and the lack of cap space makes it a really difficult choice to keep one player and pay him $20 million when you could have 6 or 7 other players that might fill in roles next year.
We have a nutritionist and expert from Drexel, Nyrita Darian, joining us, and you tried a whole month, and you look amazing.
Nobody is telling you that when you eat at McDonald's, you need to order a double quarter pounder and a large fry and a Coke and swallow it down with a milkshake. Okay. Nobody is making you do this.
It's called On Track. The app tracks how much you sleep, how active you are, your location, and what time you eat, among many, many other things.
All this data is being crunched by this algorithm, and then that's used to predict what's going to happen over the next few hours. We're getting about 70% accuracy, but we want to do better. So that's why we're exploring more kinds of sensors, more kinds of data input.
Researchers at Drexel University may have found the cure to crackling roads and crumbling infrastructure. Researchers found when mixing bacteria with CO2 and calcium, this can create an environment that self-produces limestone, which if sprayed onto or mixed into pavement, can strengthen roads, making them pothole-proof.
Researchers from Drexel University studied health and pollution data from over 1,500 counties and parishes across the U.S. over several years.
People living in areas with dirtier air had an increased risk of dying from a stroke and a shorter life expectancy.
Yeah, at Drexel, a brand new lab is putting the most cutting-edge technology into the hands of its students as the entertainment industry faces a new reality.
Inside Drexel's Immersive Research Lab,
this is an Oculus Go.
Our ever-growing virtual world is being designed by students in the real one.
Students can create their own content.
Using futuristic tech like this hologram.
It's a holographic display. This is called a looking glass.
And a closet full of VR and AR headsets. Students are even toying around with 360 sound.
Masterpieces from some of the world's most famous designers are on display in a brand new gallery space at Drexel University. The custom-built gallery opened for the first time today. Features garments donated over the past decade, including works from Balenciaga, Oscar de la Renta, and more. The new gallery also includes a study room for students and researchers to use.
Building the next generation of women leaders. Today, 9 women who are college deans participated in Drexel University's Women's Empowerment Summit. They're talking about things like pay equity and how to manage in male-dominated industries.
I went to the States to learn leadership at Drexel University for 6 weeks. All fellows from other parts of Africa are here, and connecting with them, learning directly what is happening in their countries, having them in one room. And that showed me that problems are solvable.
Fighting food insecurity with student innovation. This 3 Cheers is for a student-run nonprofit at Drexel University that is doing just this, one swipe at a time.
I was going through finals and getting ready to go back home to New York when I realized that I still had over 50 meal swipes left in my dining account that I knew I wouldn't be able to use. I decided to take my meal card, and with these 2 large plastic bins, I just swiped my card until I had nothing left. I took all those meals, packed them in the bins, and then I drove to Center City and gave all the meals out in less than half an hour.
Hundreds of Drexel University students got a chance to kickstart their careers today. It was a packed house for Drexel's Spring Career Fair on campus. Hundreds of the biggest companies in the country were there to find candidates in fields like business, engineering, and computer science.
They were making quite a racket at Drexel University today. The U.S. Open Squash Championship is being held here on the campus this week. Some of the best players in the world, squash players that is, will face off in an all-glass exhibition court.
Well, a dream came true on the Field of Dreams. 2,500 Drexel University students filling Citizens Bank Park there in South Philadelphia. Graduates received their diplomas during a ceremony on the baseball diamond. Crews managed to build the main stage over the second baseline.
Zara Abdul-Aziz is here. Zara's from Levittown, Pennsylvania, Drexel University. Junior, right?
Yeah.
What are you studying?
I am studying biological sciences, pre-med, so I'm looking to be a doctor when I graduate.
That's exciting stuff.
Yeah.
You got med school coming up.
Yeah.
Got a long road ahead of you.
Yeah, yeah.